Hey, this is Rick Brandenburg for Turf Bugs and Rock and Roll. And I wanted to do a video here this time of year because in much of the southeast and some other parts of the country, we've really been seeing wide fluctuations in weather patterns. And some of this is part of what concerns scientists, and including agricultural scientists with changes in our climate, is that it's not so much that the temperatures slowly over time keep getting warmer and warmer, because that's something that to some degree with plant breeding, we can breed for plants that are more drought tolerant, more heat tolerant, but it's these wide swings that we're seeing. And this year in North Carolina, for example, we've seen these big major swings in rainfall. And, we're filming this on the 13th of July. I think it's going to go up on whatever it is, the 16th of July. And not even halfway through the month, we've got 6 inches of rain in North Carolina. And it's not been little quarter-inch rains every single day. It's been, 98 degrees and no rain. Then all of a sudden you get an inch and a half rainstorm, and then 96 degrees and no rain for several days, and you get a 2-inch rainstorm. It's been these big fluctuations. And when we get rain, it's been really heavy. And people say, what does that do to pest issues? And, I've had a lot of people talk to me and complain about how they've got so many more weeds this year because we're way ahead on rainfall, some issues about diseases, but what does it mean for insects? And that's really difficult for us to predict in some cases, because the reality is we haven't seen this exact scenario too many times previously. And perhaps in years when we saw lots of rainfall, temperatures were actually cooler than normal because we had a lot of cloud cover. That's not been the case this year. It's been heat day after day, and a lot of thunderstorms. So it's really hard to predict. Sometimes with fall armyworms, which we've been seeing much more frequently in recent years, when we have a lot of rain, fall armyworm damage is usually predicted to be a little bit less. The reason for that, with the wet weather, we often see pathogens take out some of the populations, and it reduces the pressure from them. But the other thing we see when there's a lot of rain, there's so much green out there for them to eat that they're not as attracted to irrigated turf like hybrid Bermuda grass, where they do a lot of damage. So typically I would say, well, if we've had so much rain that I don't see fall armyworms as being as problematic now, I don't feel comfortable saying that. And obviously here in mid-July, the rain could shut off for the next 4 weeks and we get into real drought conditions, and that could all change as well. So yes, we've had good conditions for mole crickets, for egg laying and egg hatch. We've had good conditions for the beetles that lay the eggs for white grubs. We've seen a lot of conditions that encourage or promote. But the reality is, even after 40-some years of doing this, I don't feel real comfortable with the weather and predicting. We really still have to get out and check. And we'll try to keep you updated on the fall armyworms and all the other pests. But right now, my crystal ball is pretty empty. Hope that helps. Look forward to talking with you again soon.